Hey there guys, and welcome back to the Top 10 Strongest series. You guys seemed pretty happy to see this one return with the Dragon types, and you decided to come out the gate swinging by going right into the Psychic type. It took me forever to put this list together, and that is because I came to a wild conclusion. The Legendaries play a big part in keeping certain Psychic types out of the spotlight. There are some on this list I never really think about when it comes to being great. And that was simply because when I think Psychic types, they're all Legendaries except for Alakazam or Gardevoir. That's what makes this revisit to this series amazing though. Getting to experience Pokemon from some new perspectives and giving that spotlight to those who deserve it. So enough of this intro, let's just get right to number 10. We'll kick this list off with Metacham, which takes its place in this top 10 on the back of its Pure Power ability. That ability doubles Metacham's attack stat, so it becomes stacked real quick. We're talking big numbers. Okay, maybe not that big. It is only base 60 to begin with, but it will go up and it will allow to hit hard, especially when combined with a Choice Band. It's really going to bring the pain in BDSP though it's by no means perfect. Its stats aren't great defensively, and it can't be expected to do anything as a special attacker. It's actually more of a one-trick pony with Pure Power. You'll want to run High Jump Kick or Zen Headbutt or something, and keep it strictly as a Pokemon you'll bring out in battle to hit as a nuclear bomb. That's really all there is to it, and that's why it's only at number 10. It's a one-time usage Pokemon for the most part, but so good in that one-time use that it's better than a lot of other Psychic types. Next up on the list is our first 8th generation Pokemon, Haderine. It really came into its own after Sword and Shield's initial release, being able to make the most of itself in tons of VGC formats of competitive. Let's start with Magic Bounce. It's a great ability that will send status elements flying right back where they came from. There is a place for a Pokemon that can do that on mostly any competitive team. Haderine's awful base 29 speed is hidden by decent defenses, and then a massive 136 special attack. It's going to bring the smoke on a Trick Room team, and it can even set up with Calm Mind to improve its already stellar special stats. You can pull out Draining Kiss if you're desperate for some way to heal, and then for stab, you can run Psychic or Psyshock. You might want to run Mystical Fire or Dark Pulse, as Haderine doesn't exactly have the greatest coverage in its pool, but it doesn't really need it. It's great as a strong supportive Pokemon, and that's enough to have it come in at number 9. Bronzong is the next Pokemon on the list, bringing its great Steel Psychic typing into the discussion. Now, as you can probably figure already, this isn't the only Pokemon of this typing we'll be talking about. You gotta wait just a little while longer for that though. So with Bronzong, it's a pretty good play in BDSP if you're messing around in UU or something, since its defenses are really nice alongside the typing. It's got Levitate, so ground types are scared off, and with 116 in both defenses, it's very nice. It's not an amazing attacker, but there are certain things it does well, specifically due to its defenses and that ability. Bronzong can set up hazards, run Gyro Ball, and take some hits while running Toxic. If it ends up on a Trick Room team as well, it can serve as a nice little attacking option with Earthquake, Iron Head, and others being able to be used. That's all there is to it though. I feel the next 7 Pokemon are where we'll start to really see fantastic options making their appearances. Starmie swirls into the next spot on the list. I guess? I mean, does it waddle around to move, or does it just spin and swirl around? It's honestly a really weird Pokemon, and I can't figure out the way it moves, but I guess it's irrelevant to the topic. So Starmie is spinning around as a top tier rapid spinner in BDSP, and we all know how valuable rapid spin is competitively. It's got great coverage as well, with stab moves like Psychic and Scald being joined by Dazzling Gleam and Thunderbolt among others to give you plenty of options when building your moveset. Its speed is base 115, and special attack base 100, and even its defenses are sort of decent at base 85. I mean, gosh, it can use Recover too, which is really nice. However, it's not as great in Sword and Shield competitive. It is still in a decent speed tier, and of course it can still use Rapid Spin. Though as an attacker, and really as a spinner, there are better Pokemon out there that outclass Starmie. It's more so here due to it being one of the top options in BDSP's competitive scene, which is still something to be proud of. So ending our first half of the list today is a Pokemon that surprises me a little. When I was putting together this list, naturally I looked over the last one we did with Legendaries, and Metagross was pretty well regarded on that one. I wasn't expecting my research to lead to it not even making the top 5 at this point, and yet here we are. Don't make any mistakes about it, Metagross is still a great Pokemon, just lacking due to the loss of its Mega, and of course general mechanic changes in Sword and Shield altogether. It's still a stupidly strong Pokemon that can take physical hits, and really its speed isn't as bad as it could be. Having Clear Buddy means in battle with Dynamaxed Pokemon, it doesn't need to worry about any stat drops. If you run a weakness policy on it too, well, you've got a nice opportunity to gain a big stat bump. The problem for Metagross is that the next 5 Pokemon hold a better niche than it does out in battle, having more than just a good attack and defense stat backing them up. You may find yourself getting more out of Metagross as a utility Pokemon with Stealth Rocks and Toxic as opposed to a meteor mashing badass. But it is what it is. It's a perfect Pokemon to end up here at number 6, as it isn't the best anymore, but it's still so good that the argument and idea of it being a top 5 Psychic type is still believable. I wonder where it'll be on the Steel type list. The top 5 gets started with the Pokemon so annoying. It found its way to being banned from most competitive formats. Gothitel and its aggravating Shadow Tag take the spot as the 5th strongest Psychic type. Now, to be fair, in doubles, it isn't all that great. But when it's just one Pokemon on another, it's definitely not a problem. Like, if that was all Pokemon battling was, it could potentially find itself in the number 1 spot. But since we look at almost every aspect, its poor showing in many formats keeps it here at only the 5th spot. You really only need to do things like run substitute and setup moves along with taunt and rest. If you do that, you're going to oftentimes cause a Pokemon to end up just struggling to their inevitable deaths. So when you take into account either using this in doubles or in singles, it's not the best Psychic type, though Gothitel will make you angry in battle if you're up against it, and can win you a battle many times over if you're using it by yourself. We've got Slowbro coming in next on the top 10 today. A nice water Psychic type that serves as sort of the opposite of Starmie. It excelled in the BDSP competitive scene, while Slowbro here isn't as good, but is definitely tremendous in Sword and Shield. When you run a Trick Room team, you can get a lot out of Slowbro, but if not, Teleport plus Regenerator is fantastic. Like, you'll be able to get out whatever you want under any circumstances, and in the process, heal Slowbro. It's awesome. It can run Future Sight as well, which plays super well with those moves, making pivoting all the more attractive when you know you can still wreak some havoc on the field with your Slowbro, all while it's back in your party healing. It's able to do a little damage as well with its base 100 special attack in a more traditional sense, using moves ranging from Psychic to Scald to Ice Beam. though I'd only suggest using Slowbro as a pivoting, future-setting defensive mon that can really annoy the opposing Pokemon. Just slide the heavy-duty boots on, and watch this slow boy work its magic. Taking home the bronze medal for this video is Gardevoir. And let's make this clear. If we were including Legends Arceus in this series, there is a real chance Gardy could have came in at number 1. It is nasty good in that game. And naturally, it's still super good in games like BDSP and Sword and Shield. You want to set up a trick room for the rest of your team and teleport about? You've got it. Want to just be a straight up attacker, turning to Moonblast and Psychic? That works too. That Psychic Fairy typing is special, and fills a great role on so many teams. Look at moves like Energy Ball, Thunderbolt, and Setup with Calm Mind, all working alongside 125 special attack and 115 special defense. I don't have much more to say about Gardy. I think it's the most boring Pokemon here in the top 5 because it's so obvious that it's good. There is just a little more strategy and power afforded by the next 2 Pokemon. That, and no Legends Arceus being taken into account, is why Gardy only gets the bronze medal today. The penultimate spot today brings us the most recently introduced Pokemon on the list, the Galarian form of Slowking. We just talked about Slowbro a few spots prior and how good it can be defensively at times. Well, this Galarian Slowking is even better. It's got 110 in both special stats and 95 HP, proving it to be a bulky monster that can run an assault vest, as to ensure that virtually no special attacker can truly have its way with the Hexpert Pokemon. The Regenerator ability is top tier, allowing for recovery when switched out, so you've also got that without having to waste a move slot on something like Slack Off. There's a bunch of moves that Slowking can get, ranging from its Stab, and Psychic, and Sludge Bomb to absolute badass coverage moves with Flamethrower, Scald, and Ice Beam. It gets all the great stuff that its Johtonian counterpart gets, while gaining new and impressive moves that can provide great defense for fairy types, among others. Galarian Slowking is a behemoth defensively, and easily could have come in at number 1 if not for a single all-powerful entity that we're about to talk about. We've come this far, and this number 1 Pokemon doesn't need any sort of introduction. Alakazam hasn't been mentioned yet, and that's because it is the strongest non-legendary Psychic-type Pokemon. It was always overshadowed by Mewtwo in the first generation, but it most certainly worked itself up the list of greatness as the generations went on, and now we're at a point where it's easy to get and use anytime. Alakazam brings in base 135 special attack and 120 speed, which allows it to outspeed tons of threats, and just absolutely bear down with the special attacks. We're talking Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, Focus Blast. Yeah, there's a lot. If you set up a nasty plot, I'm convinced Alakazam will essentially destroy about 95% of most non-legendaries in like one hit. The only thing that's a shame for Alakazam is no access to Thunderbolt. I still just don't get that. So on top of its great stats and moves, I shouldn't forget to mention Magic Guard. If the opponent thinks it's gonna chip away at Alakazam's health, good luck. It's the premier Psychic type, and who knows what changes the 9th generation might bring for it. I'm excited to find out. But for now, that's it for this list. That's it. That's all we've got for this top 10 today. What did you guys think? The Psychic typing is definitely still threatening, but not as much when you don't pull in the legendary Pokemon for the conversation. They truly do put this super strong typing over the top. What is the next type you guys want to see me go over? I've got an idea what you want, but I'll wait and see what you have to say. Thanks for checking out this vid, and with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10k followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Teibachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.